when I was telling everybody just worship him and not Krishna, and at that time the sages who were all powerful, they just said, "Oh, this person is not fit to be king. Let's just chant a mantra and kill him." So that's how Vena died. So let's start today's class. So today's class is about Prthu Maharaj, who is a great king. We just discussed his glories, and he's welcoming these Sanat Kumaras, or the 4 Kumaras. So there is Sanaka, Sanatan, Sanandan, and yeah, Sanandana. So Sanaka, Sanat Kumara, Sanatana, and Sanandana. So these are the names of the 4 Kumaras, and they are the sons of Brahma. If you remember how Brahma got these 4 Kumaras, saying that, hey, you should go have grow up, have a family, have kids, so that you can populate the world. But the Kumara said, no, we are not interested in all that. We are just interested in focusing on God. So they said, because when you grow up, then you want to be with the opposite gender, have family and all that. So they said, no, we just want to be 5 years old. So that's why the Sanat Kumaras are always 5 years old, but they're very, very senior sages. So when they came, Prthu Maharaj really respected and welcomed them with awe and reverence and gave them a seat. And we are going to see how wonderfully a person should respect Brahmanas who come to your home. So we see here how Prthu Maharaj is actually washing the feet of these nice 4 Kumaras, and actually taking the water and sprinkling it on his head, showing utter humility and love for these wonderful Kumaras who are very knowledgeable and great sages. So Prthu Maharaj also says wonderful words of how rare it is to see such great Vaishnavas or great sages coming home, and he is feeling very privileged that they selected his kingdom and his home to visit. So you see how he is like dropping his shoulders. He's showing all respect to the 4 Kumaras, and then he asks the question, what is the right way? How can everybody in this world who is stuck in the material world, going through a lot of suffering, what is the best way for them to get out of here? And then the Kumaras were very happy to hear this question, because he's not asking some benediction for himself. He's wants the welfare of the entire world, entire humanity. So they were very pleased to hear this question from Prthu Maharaj and his wonderful dealings. So then the Sanat Kumaras started answering the question. So what they say is attachment to Krishna and detachment from bodily activities is what helps a person to get over the sufferings of the material world. Because every time we think we are the body, and like we are always thinking about our body and ourselves, we there will be misery in this world, because there is always some changes happening, and ultimately all of us have to leave our body. So it's full of grief and problems. But if we understand that we are not this body, but we are the spirit soul, and we do what the soul needs, and not just focus on this one lifetime, but whole of eternity, that the soul has been traveling through multiple bodies, and we focus on the activities, what nourishes the soul, then we are less attached. So they are giving this wonderful knowledge to Prthu Maharaj for all of our benefits. And they say having faith, worshiping the Lord, regularly hearing and chanting the names of the Lord. These are the different ways that we can get this faith for God, because everything starts with hearing, and all of you are so wonderfully coming to class so that you can learn from the Srimad Bhagavatam. And this is not invented by me. I'm hearing from my superiors and hearing from the wonderful scriptures. So I'm trying to repeat what I've heard. So this is ultimately coming from Krishna. And if we everything starts with Shravanam or listening. So that point is mentioned here by the Sanat Kumaras. They say that a person who does not come in the association of devotees, so they are very fallen, because even before hearing, we have to find good spiritual people who can tell us the right thing. It's also important to hear from the right source, not just hearing anybody, right? So it's important to choose who you hear from. So everything starts with the right association. And the Sanat Kumaras are reiterating that point. And then they also mention all the good qualities like non-violence, following acharyas, remembering the Lord, simple living, tolerance, following rules. These are all very favorable for one to have a life where they don't have a lot of distress. Hearing, it says here, hearing gives required attachment and detachment. So what that means is attachment to Krishna and detachment from the worldly miseries and our pursuit for worldly happiness. If we are detached from that, we have to do our duties, but if we are not we won't be so affected if there are any reversals, because we are attached to Krishna, and we know Krishna is the source of all happiness, spiritual happiness, and he's always there. He's not changing like the material situation that we are in. So then the Sanat Kumaras gives this wonderful explanations about how to be a good devotee, and answers all the wonderful questions by Prthu Maharaj. And Prthu Maharaj, after listening to the Sanat Kumaras, he is ready to hand over his kingdom to his next like Vijitashva. We discuss about Vijitashva, going behind Indra to find the horse. So that Vijitashva is the next in line. So he gave his kingdom to Vijitashva, and because he has come of age now, and he heard about how to be a good spiritualist, and he wanted to focus on the spiritual aspects, and he left. He focused on bhakti, and he left the home and went to the forest with his wife Archie, and he was following all austerities and getting ready to leave his body, and then he actually left his body, and his wife also left her body, and actually there were airplanes that came from Vaikunta to take them, just like Dhruva Maharaj was taken to Vaikunta in the Vaikunta airline or the Vaikunta plane. A similar airplane came to pick up both Archie and Prthu Maharaj, and they went back home, back to Godhead, to be with Lord Narayan in Vaikunta. So so this is how Prthu Maharaj is showing us an example how to be a great ruler of the world, doing his duty, taking care of the citizens, and towards the end of the life, he He was focused only on God, and he left his body and went back home, back to Godhead. So now Prthu Maharaj was not a sage who was going to the mountain for all his life and just focusing on spiritual life. He was someone who had kids, who took care of his family, but was also a great devotee of the Lord. So then there is some explanation about a person who is not connected to God, who doesn't believe in God. It's said that that person is as good as a person who is committing suicide. He's a killer of self, because a person who doesn't utilize this very rare human birth to understand about God and know the philosophy and understand that you are not this body, such a person is going through the cycle of life and death, because you just taking care of your body, then you die, then you get another body, you keep going through that cycle. So it's as good as a killer of self, is what Srimad Bhagavatam is telling us of a person who is not a devotee. So it said that if we learn about the story of Prthu Maharaj and Archie, it gives us the right knowledge to go back to Vaikunta just like they did. So that there ends the story of Prthu Maharaj and Archie, and after that comes the lineage of Prthu Maharaj. So we know Prthu Maharaj as the son Vichitashva, and then Vichitashva had a son called Havirdhana, and Havirdhana had a son known as Barishat, and Barishat Prachina Barhi. So Barishat, we'll hear about his. There are many chapters dedicated to Barishat or Prachina Barhi, but then here it is mentioned about how Barishat also had 10 sons, and they were called the Prachetas. So Prachetas are very important persons in Srimad Bhagavatam, because we're going to learn about them now. There were 10 of them. They were wonderful devotees and sons of this father, Barishat, who was not that great of a devotee. Barishat or Prachina Barhi, he was always wanting a fruitive activity. So I'm going to pray to the demigods and do yajna so that I can get a big kingdom, I can get rain, so he's focused on praying to God to get some benefit. So that is a lower understanding and not the right form of approach to God. But the Prachetas, the sons of Prachina Barhi, when their father Barishat told them, hey, you have to go have a family and have kids, they said, okay, we are going to first go pray for 10,000 years. And then, the lifespan of folks during that Satya Yuga were very long. So they wanted to dedicate the first 10,000 years first praying and then going and doing their duty. So we are going to learn about them now. So what did we say? Prthu Maharaj had a son, Vichitashva, and Vichitashva had a son, Havirdhana, and Havirdhana had 6 sons. The eldest was Prachina Barhi or Barishat, and Barishat's sons were Prachetas. So the Prachetas is what we're going to discuss now. And the Prachetas meets Lord Shiva. So when they were going to do their austerities, they met Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva gives them the understanding or the mantras to practice for the 10,000 years, and that's called Rudra Gita. So Gita means song. So Rudra means Lord Shiva. So this is the song of Lord Shiva, So Lord Shiva is the guru of these prachetas, who gave the prachetas the right understanding and what they need to do to worship. And why did Lord Shiva meet the prachetas? Because for Lord Shiva, the devotees of Krishna are more dear to him than his own devotees. Now, Lord Shiva has a very difficult service. He tries to uplift everyone, like ghosts and goblins and even bad people like Ravana, Vrikasura. They were all devotees of Lord Shiva. Now Vrikasura was a very intense and bad demon. He was doing sacrifices such as cutting his own body and putting it to the fire and praying to Lord Shiva to come and give him a blessing. And then when he was cutting each part of his body and then he was about to cut his head, Lord Shiva came and said, "Oh, what do you need? Please don't, hurt yourself like this." And then he said, "I want to, touch someone. Um, Whoever I touch should burn to ashes." And you see that Lord Shiva, being merciful, gave that boon, and this bad demon, his first thing was to go touch Lord Shiva himself. So we see how ungrateful these persons, Lord Shiva's devotees, are. But that's why Lord Shiva really, he likes the association, and he wants to help Krishna's devotees more. So that's why he's meeting with the prachetas and telling them all about Krishna and how to worship Krishna. So we'll just quickly finish this and go to the Kahoot. Usually, we say that, there are people like in certain society, they fight. Oh, I'm a Shiva devotee. I'm a Vishnu devotee. We are Shaivites. We are Vaishnavites, and we don't get along, and we have to fight. And we see here in Srimad Bhagavatam how Lord Shiva is so respectful and loving of Vishnu devotees, and there shouldn't be any fighting between devotees. So, and Lord Rudra or Shiva is actually establishing Krishna as the supreme destination, and we are going to see that in Rudra Gita. So, Lord Shiva is remembering Krishna's form, and he describes the beautiful Krishna's face. And he says Krishna is the sum total of all the beauty we can find in the world. He has the most beautiful eyes, face, teeth, ears, eyebrows, etc. He's so respectful and loving of Krishna. And he then describes Krishna's lotus feet, that everybody has to take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. And Krishna's lotus feet is obtainable only with bhakti or devotional service. So one has to serve Krishna's lotus feet and worship Krishna's lotus feet and get ask for protection from Krishna's lotus feet. And Lord Shiva is saying half a moment of association of a person who has bhakti towards Krishna is better than even the impersonal liberation and going to the heavenly planets. So we see how Lord Shiva really likes the devotees and their association. So we see here Srimad Bhagavatam is trying to establish that, Krishna is the supreme Lord and bhakti is the best process. From all the great personalities, they're trying to say the same thing. How to do bhakti is to always be unagitated and absorbed in Krishna. And then Lord Shiva tries to explain how Krishna is related to the material world, like in his form as Mahavishnu, from his navel, all these from each pore of his hair, all these universe come, but from his navel, there is Brahma coming. He's the secondary creator. All that we learned in the first and second canto, Lord Shiva explains. And he concludes that Krishna is the supreme Lord. Just follow this prayer that he gave, and they will get all perfection. So we'll end our class today. And next class we'll learn about Puranjana. This is a story that Narada Muni tells Prachina Barhi. So Prachina Barhi is the father of the Prachetas, right? So he's still doing this material fruitive activities, and then Narada Muni comes to slowly tell him a story, and through the story try to explain to him that what he's doing is not the perfect process. Bhakti is the best process, and we'll discuss that in the next class. But all of you, if you can take your phone, now we can start the Kahoot for today. Sorry, we went a little over, and because we started the class a little late because of my laptop issues. So if you can either scan this QR code or put in the PIN on your phone or another device or another browser. So 550-7597. We have 14 questions today. Okay, we have a mysterious player. Who is this? Santosh Ji is a tiger pirate with one eye covered. Hope everybody had a fun-filled Halloween in the US. There's a celebration. Ayana was a witch, and Nimai was a pirate here, and they went and got candy from different houses. So when I saw Santosh Ji with this one eye, that's what reminded me of the pirate. Radha Chaitra Ji is on, Tarun Ji is on, so let's get started. Oh,
Prabhuji, Nitya joined here, Prabhuji.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let me try to go back then. Oh, I'm so sorry. I think we have to start all over now. Oh, we're going to get a new pin. It's 810303. So all of you, please rejoin. And let's see if Nitinji can also join. Okay, everybody has joined, so let's start. Okay, Prthu Maharaj received the Kumaras by lowering shoulders in humility, offering them seats and worshipping them, washing their feet and sprinkling his head with that water. All of the above. Yeah, all of the above is the right answer. Okay. Second question. A householder who does not welcome Vaishnavas are compared to a swamp, deep sea, tree with venomous serpents, a dangerous cliff. So please take a guess. I don't think I mentioned this in class, but the Srimad Bhagavatam says a person who doesn't welcome saintly people to their home is like their house is like a tree, and they're like venomous serpents in the tree. Okay. Why are the 4 Kumaras pleased by King Prthu? Prthu praised the 4 Kumaras. Prthu asked a question for the welfare of all humanity. Prthu made the 4 Kumaras feel proud. All of the above. Okay. So this time I tricked all of you. They were pleased with the 4 Kumaras. The Kumaras were pleased with Prthu Maharaj because he asked a question that was good for the welfare of whole of humanity. Again, Kumaras, they're not really proud. They don't want to feel proud of themselves. due to praise. So what is the best solution that Kumaras give for escaping the suffering of the world? Hearing about the Supreme Lord, making a lot of money, getting a lot of degrees, marrying a beautiful spouse. Yes, all of you got that right. Excellent. Okay. Next question. What is the best method of giving up material desires? Seeking material benefits until get tired of it, working hard for material desires, praying for fulfilling material desires, having spiritual desires. So what is the best way for reducing your material desires? Yes, the correct answer is having spiritual desires. Because with the human body, you always have desires. But if you say, oh, I want to go visit Vrindavan, I want to celebrate Krishna's birthday or appearance day. So those are spiritual desires. So that will reduce your desires to say, oh, I want to go to a spa and get a massage. And, I want to just spend my money for my sense gratification. So all those desires will be overpowered by spiritual desires. So that's the approach. What was the conclusion of Kumara's teaching to Prthu Maharaj? Serving Krishna's lotus feet is the best solution. Taking shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, all of the above. Yes. So, yes, serving Krishna and taking shelter of Krishna is the best solution according to the Kumaras. Okay, dashed by the speaker and dashed by the listener ensures good spiritual communication. Pride, lust, anger, humility, profit motive, donation, compassion, and gratitude. Yes. So compassion by the speaker who has knowledge about the Lord and wants the other person also to know about it, and gratitude by the listener ensures good communication. Okay, a person who only lives to satisfy his own self is called a genius, a scientist, a spiritual seeker, a killer of self. A killer of self. Very good. Okay, what is the right order of the lineage of Prthu Maharaj? Vijitasva, Havirdhana, Barishat, and Prachetas. Havirdhana, Barishat, Prachetas, Vijitasva, Barishat, Prachetas, Vijitasva, Havirdhana. Okay, all of you got that. So the person who got green, it's just a reverse, right? So first Vijitasva comes, then Havirdhana, then Barishat, then Prachetas. Okay, 10th question. There were dash prachetas, number of prachetas, and they entered the ocean to perform austerity for dash years. 100 prachetas, 1,000 years, 10 prachetas, 10,000 years, 10,000 prachetas, 10 years. So the right answer is 10 prachetas, and they went to worship for 10,000 years. Okay, Taranji is now 4th place. Why did Lord Shiva say he selected the Prachetas to give us mercy? By chance, Shiva met them. Krishna's devotees are as dear to Lord Shiva as Krishna himself. Shiva wanted Prachetas to be his devotees, all of the above. But all of the above is not the right answer. The right answer is he likes Krishna's devotees as he likes Krishna himself. What instruction do Lord Shiva give to Prachetas to establish that Krishna Bhakti is topmost? Krishna is obtainable only by Bhakti. Bhakti is very rare. Devotees association is very powerful, all of the above. In this case, all of the above is the right answer. Okay, Santoshi is first place. Nitinji, who is this? Tarunji and Radha Chaitraji. Nitinji has got 9 answers correct in a row. Last 2 questions. 13. What is better than liberation and going to heavenly planets? Wealth, fame, association with pure devotees, health. Yes, Lord Shiva says that a half a moment of being with pure devotees is better than going to heaven or liberation. Okay, Lord Shiva says Krishna is the dash of the wise and dash of the ignorant, enemy of the wise, friend of the ignorant, goal of the wise, and death of the ignorant, punisher of the wise, helper of the ignorant, none of the above. Yeah. So Krishna is the goal of the wise, and Krishna comes as death of the ignorant who doesn't have faith in God. They ultimately meet death, and that because Krishna, comes as an inevitable death to show that a person has wasted his life and not learned about his true self. So one way or the other, Krishna reaches out to everyone. Okay, third place goes to, who is this? Second place goes to Nitinji, and first place goes to Santoshji. Congratulations to everyone who played. Tarunji, fourth place, fifth place, Radha Chaitraji. So all of you are winners for coming and hearing about Krishna and Srimad Bhagavatam. So next class, next two classes, we'll complete the fourth canto. So we are progressing very well. This it's a very fast way of learning the stories of Srimad Bhagavatam. So hopefully all of you will attend regularly, and we can finish the fourth canto and ultimately the 12 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you so much for joining. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpata rupascha kripa sindhupi evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Happy Kartik month. Happy Bahulashtami. Have an amazing Krishna conscious week. Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.